Let's do some examples of the writing expressions with variables exercise. So it says write an expression to represent 11 more than a. Well, you could just have a, but if you want 11 more than a, you would want to add 11. So you could write that as a plus 11. You could also write that as 11 plus a. Both of them would be 11 more than a. So let's check our answer here. We got it right. Let's do a few more of these. Write an expression to represent the sum of d and 9. So the sum of d and 9, that means you're going to add d and 9. So I could write that as d plus 9, or I could write that as 9 plus d. Check our answer. Got that right. Let's do a few more of these. Write an expression to represent j minus 15. Well, I could just write it in with math symbols instead of writing the word minus. Instead of writing minus, I could write j minus 15. And then I check my answer. Got it right. Let's do a few more of these. This is a lot of fun. Write an expression to represent 7 times r. Well, 7, there's a couple ways I could do it. I could use this little dot right over here. I could do 7 times r like that. That would be correct. I could literally just write 7r. If I just wrote 7r, that would also count. Let me check my answer. That's right. Let me do a couple of other of these just so you can see that I could have just done 10. And this is not a decimal. This is, it's a little bit higher than a decimal. It's multiplication. And the reason why once you start doing algebra, you use this symbol instead of that kind of cross for multiplication is that x-looking thing gets confused with x when you're using x as a variable. So that's why this is a lot more useful. So we want to write 10 times u. 10 times u. Let's check our answer. Got it right. Let's do one more. Write an expression to represent 8 divided by d. So you could write it as 8, and then I could write a slash like that, 8 divided by d. And there you go. This is 8 divided by d. Let me check the answer. I'll do one more of these. 6 divided by b. All right, same thing. So 6, I could use this tool right over here. It does the same thing as if I were to press the backslash. So 6 divided by b. Check my answer. Got it right.
Assalomu alaykum hammalarga hozirgi vaqt xayrli bo'lsin. 5-6 kundan ziyod chiqarib qoldim video. Savollar shu qilib dars boshlab. Endi dars qaytib kelsak, hozir qarasak bada Introduction Algebra, algebraning tunishtirilishi degandan hozir tarjima qilib hozir menga kelibdi. How to write basic expressions with variable. Buni ko'rsak
Expressions with variables. Let's do some examples.
Birinchi misol qarasak, write an expression to represent 11 more than a dedi. Buni tarjima qilsak, A'dan 11 chiq bo'lgan son dedi. A'dan 11 chiq bo'lgan desa masalan A'dan 11 chiq degandiki A'ga nechini qo'shamiz? 11 ni. Kichik A. Chekni qo'ymasa cho'ng yozib ketgan. Shuningla A qo'shib 11. Anadan ikkinchi misol qarasak, mana birinchi misolning javobi mana A qo'shib 11. Ikkinchi misol qarasak, write an expression to represent the sum of d and 9. D bilan D bilan 9 ni yig'indisi dedi. D bilan 9 ni yig'indisi desa D bilan 9 ni yig'indisi degan shu D ga 9 ni qo'sh degani. Masalan, ikkisidan bo'lsa birisi D, birisi 9 bo'lsa, shu ikkisini yig'indisi degani shu ikkisini qo'shsang nechidan oldi degani. D qo'shman 9. Buni javobi qarasakmi? Mana 9 qo'shman D. D qo'shman 9, 9 qo'shman D ikkisi birga. Anadan write an expression to represent J minus 15. Minus degan shu Uyg'urchadagi minus. Hamda minus degani biz minus degani mana bu minus degani elishkidan. Ba'zi odamlar minus bilan elish bir gap dedi, menimcha shu to'rlarda izlab baxtim ikkisi bir gap emas amaliyotda. Mayat hozir minus degani elish. Ammo minus degan Uyg'urchadagi minus inglizcha negative deydi. Endi ikkisini bir gap desanlar bo'laverdi endi, ammo ishkirlab zig'irlab kirsa, ikkisi ikki gap. Minus bilan elish ikki gap. Hozir mau j minus 15, j dan 15 olamiz deydi. And then write an expression to represent 7 times r. Times degani ko'paytirish, 7 ga 8 ko'paytirishni ifodalan dedi. 7 ga 8 deb r. R ni ko'paytirishni dedi. Bu o'ttirsizga qo'ysak bo'ldi, yoki ko'paytirish belgisi yoki ishni qo'ymasak bo'ldi. Write an expression to represent 10 multiplied by u. 10 ni multiplied by u. U tarafidan ko'paytirildi dedi. Yoki ko'paytkichi ko'paytkichi unutib qoldim. Ko'paytilgichi qo'shilg'ich. Evet, şu onu u ko'paytirishni dedi. Ondan anga write an expression to represent 8 divided by d. 6 d tarafidan bölündü dedi. Bölgüçe deb masalan bu d hozir bölgüçe 8 ni bölüdü. Şuna 8 divided by d degani 8 divided by d 8 ni d ga bölamiz. D 8 ni bölüydü. Şuna d bölgüçe buldu. 8 bölüngüçe. Bunu şu başlangıçtan kitaplarda var. Bölüngüçe deb qarasanglar. Write an expression to represent 6 divided by b. O'xshash oldingi misol o'xshashga, oldingi misol 8 d tarafidan bo'linadi, hozir 6 b tarafidan bo'linadi. Shunga 6 bilan b. Mana mushunchalik nosma xayr. Haris anda ma KhanAcademy'ni to'rga kirib, shu keyingi narsanglar misollar bor ekan. O'zinglar ingliz o'rganishigimi yaxshi ta'sir bo'ldi. Masalan, hozirgi o'qishib ketadigan misollar. Write an expression for y more than 7. Y qo'shiban 7. Write an expression for 6 minus b. 6 alaman b. Write an expression for x divided by 9. X divided by 9. Write an expression for 2 multiplied by t. 2t. Write an expression for the sum of a and 4. A qo'shiman 4 4. Write an expression for 3 times p. 3p. Mana malanamiz inglizchamda manda xanjiq qilimi. Men tanlash bag'idagi xanjiq qilmoqchi bo'lsa. Shu mana mushunchalik qanadikan check answer qarasak ham biz mana to'g'ri ekan. Endi keyingisida bor. Meyadan bir misol bor ekan. Write an expression for p less than 4. P dan 4 ni elib olsak dedi. Check answer. To'g'rimi xatomi? Incorrect answer. Xato. P less than 4. 4 dan p az 4 alaman p. 4 dan p az bo'lgan dedi. Ash p degan masalan 1 desak 4 dan 1 az bo'lgan demoqchi bo'lsa, masalan 4 dan 1 dan olsak 3. Shu hamda to'g'ri dedi, correct.
What I want to do in this video is write the algebraic expressions that represent the same thing that these statements are saying. So this first statement, they say the sum of -7 and the quantity 8 times x. So the sum, so we're going to have an addition here, of -7 and the quantity 8 times x. So the quantity 8 times x, well that's just 8x, so I can just write 8x over there. So it is -7 plus 8x. Or you could view this as the sum of -7 and the quantity 8 times x. Let's do the next one. Take the quantity -3 times x, so take the quantity -3 times x, and then add 1. And then add 1. So the quantity -3 times x, we can write that as -3x. And then we need to add 1 to that. So that's going to be plus 1. Now this one, negative 6 plus, so we can write negative 6 plus something, the product of negative 1 and x. So the product of negative 1 and x, that's just going to be negative 1x, which is the same thing as negative x. So we can write this as negative 6 plus negative x, or we can just write this. This is the exact same thing as negative 6 minus x. And we are done. What I want to do
Assalomu alaykum. Mau videoda qarasanglar mana uchlab misol ishlaydi ekan. Bu mana misollarni bu Salmonxonni ishlatishga sabab mushunda masalan bir misol bersa sizlarga mush tanglimini yozish eng muhim. Tanglimini yozib olgandan keyin uni yashash ancha tas emas. Ammo mush tanglimidagi shu jumlani tushunib, anadan keyin shu tanglimini yozish, tanglimini tuzib chiqish shu eng muhim. Shunga shu misol beribdim bu yerda. Birinchi masalan the sum of negative 7 and the quantity 8 times x. Shu minus 7 bilan bu quantity 8 times x. Quantity degani son, bunda miqdor. 8 times x degani 8 ko'paytirib 2. Shunga the sum degani yana mishadi, the sum degani yig'indisi. Shu minus 7 bilan 8 ko'paytirib x ni yig'indisi necha bo'ldi dedi. Buni qarasanglar Salmonxon ishlagandek minus 7 qo'shiman 8 2. Ikkinchi misol qarasanglar take the quantity negative 3 times x. The quantity degan mana mishadi quantity. Yani shu miqdori negative 3 times x. Minus 3 ni x ko'paytiramiz dedi. Times degani ko'paytirish. Negative 3x and then add 1. Then degani andin add 1. Birni qo'shsan dedi. Minus 3x ga birni qo'shsaq necha? Minus 3x qo'shman 1. Endi mana uchinchi misol qarasak minus negative 6 plus the product of negative 1 and x. The product degani mana ko'payt ikki sonni ko'paytgandan keyin chiqqan son. Buni nima deydi? Product. Men boshlang'ich narsalar o'qichqa unutib qoldim, kechirgaysizlar. Ko'paytma, to'g'ri ko'paytma. Ko'paytma minus 1 bilan x ni ko'paytmasa ga minus 6 ni qo'shishlar dedi. Masalan minus 6 qo'shiman. Anda minus 1 ko'paytirib 2. Minus 1 ko'paytirib x nimikda? Minus x ga 1 deganni yozmasak bo'ldi. Shunday minus 6 qo'shiman minus 2. Minus 6 ga minus x ni qo'shdik degan gap minus x ni elib o'tdik deganga o'xshash gap. Shunga minus 6 olaman 2 deb yozdim Salmonxon.